my name is Prakash Daniel, but my full name is Prakash Daniel Gopalakrishnan. Yes, I know we Indians got long names, but other things also long. I don't know what y'all thinking about. I'm talking about my beard. Yeah, I mean there are Africans in the room, so I'm not going to compete with them. So I've been doing comedy for the past 4 years now, and but before I dabbled into comedy. I'm actually a photographer by day. I've photograph all kinds of things. I specialize in portraits though. I specialize in portraits. I shoot music events and stuff like that. So that's a bit about myself. I live in KL. I live with my parents. I have a sister who's married, and I have 2 cats. So yeah, any cat lovers in the house? Yay! Yeah. Next up. So sometimes when you talk about tomorrow, like it usually talks about the future. Am I right? Right? Like, you know, like sometimes the reason why you guys are here is because you guys want to study, you want to get a degree, you want to have a better tomorrow, right? That's how it. For me, the tomorrow that I know was from this movie. Some of you guys know Back to the Future. Make some noise. Right, like this is the tomorrow that I want to live. Like, I know, like jetpacks and like self-lacing shoes and stuff like that, you know. But how the world portrays the future is very different. It's very like futuristic, flying cars and stuff like that. And we don't know sometimes are we going to achieve this. But the tomorrow, the future that I'm still living in is this is my house. And I love it, right? I know, because I think being in the present is something that will make you who you are in the future, right? And that's the whole idea I'm going to talk about today. So like I said, I photograph and I do a bit of comedy. Let me just talk about comedy, because I got into comedy because I like to make people laugh, and I think, like, you know how people always say like, hey Prakash, you're funny in the mama, maybe you can tell some jokes. It doesn't work that way, okay? Sometimes your friends really try hard. I used to go watch a lot of shows, and I became friends with comedians. And what happened was, one of the comedians said like, hey, you've been watching a lot of shows, why not you come and try open mic for 5 minutes? And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to come and try open mic. I love watching comedy. And he told me like, all you have to do is just come and do for 5 minutes. If you like it, I know, if you don't like it, it's fine. I did it for 5 minutes, and I've been doing it for 4 years now. So a bit about photography as well. One of the reasons why I love photography and comedy, and I talk. The one thing about doing comedy is you always must learn to make fun of yourself. As humans, as people, we always tend to recognize who we are. You know, sometimes as people, we are like, oh my God, I got this, I got this stretch mark, a bit flabby, you know, I wear this, a bit tight, you know. Sometimes we tend to forget about this kind of things. The moment you recognize who you are, you know, it will actually translate how your life is going to be. And that's how it works for comedy as well. And I used to have a goatee back in the day, because without this facial hair, I look like a baby. So it's really weird. Like, you know, it's like a chicken's backside or something like that, you know. It's just weird, right? Like, I used to have a goatee, and then I stopped buying razors because it was too expensive. And then the beard started growing, and that's how I started having a beard. And what happened was, from this, because for my love of photography, I love shooting portraits. And this is how it feels to have a beard, actually. Even just now, someone then came up to me like, is it real? I say, no, I shave in the morning, it grows by evening. It happens. Right? Like, how many bearded people? Look at that beard at the back there. Oh my God, but look at us. Amazing beard. It's nice. Can see it from here. You know, if our beard, my beard and your beard touch, is like the Avatar movie, like connects. Like, it's nice, right? So, because the love of photography, and one of my friends came up to me and said like, can you take a portrait of me? So I started photographing my friends with beards, right? It was like a fun fashion slash, you know, those Instagram kind of thing, portraits that I used to do. So what I did was, I started taking more pictures of people with beards, and the moment I started taking pictures of people with beard, it kind of grew, and then I started reading about beards. Like, it's like different cultures have different connotations and stuff like that. In Islam, you know, beard is part of the Sunnah, right? For the Hindus, beard is it's a very religious symbol. For the Chinese, you all have to try harder lah. So yeah, it comes out like my friend. He came up to me like, hey Prakash, look at this. 1 year is like 4 strands there. I'm like wow, you know, And what happened was, I got this idea because you guys know Humans of New York, right? Have you guys heard of Humans of New York? So I started taking pictures of my friends, but the thing developed, and I started taking pictures. So this started with my friend, right? It was like very from fashion shoot, and then I started meeting more interesting people. I used to go to KL for I've been going to KL for the past 1 year, where it's heavily concentrated with immigrant workers, like people from different countries like Burma, Bangladesh, Pakistan, India. And what I do is, the moment I take pictures of people with beards, and I actually ask their stories, why are they here in KL? And it's some of the stories that you hear, and you know how the condition of this country is, because especially with the immigration laws and stuff like that, it's very interesting, right? Look at this guy. That's pretty glorious, yeah. So this guy is like a 65-year-old bodybuilder who's an entrepreneur, and he was really, really nice, and he gave me some ideas for other stuff. This particular portrait is very, very personal to me. I was in Central Market in Kuala Lumpur, and I finished. I usually go on weekends to take photos around KL. I do a lot of street photography as well. So I was hanging out there. I looked at this man. His name is Uncle Jamal. I still see him every time I go to KL. I'll meet up with him, and it was so interesting because I actually asked him, said, "Can I take a photo of you?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, you can take a photo of me." And I said, like, then he's like, "Do you know, back in the British time, you had to pay taxes to have a beard?" I'm like, okay, but can I just take a picture? No, it's like, I can. I'm like, okay, and it was really nice because then I got to know about his life, how he used to work for the government, and how he's actually used to write like all these formal letters and things like that. You get to know a lot of people's story, right? And this is another friend. And this photo recently won the Kuala Lumpur Photo Awards for the portrait category. I shot this at Comic Con, and I really like this photo because it really talks about the relationship between the father and the son, and that's how it started. And how the beard actually works with comedy is because some of my friends, sometimes like how I said, like, how you make fun of yourself is very interesting. Like, one of my friends came up to me and said, like, "Hey, Prakash, your beard is pretty glorious. You look like Zach Galifianakis from the Hangover movie." And I'm like, no, I'm Indian. My name will be Zach Galifianarayanan. And if I did a movie called The Hangover, it won't be called The Hangover, it'll be called Still Drinking, okay? And that's how I relate back my stories back to comedy, right? And how and it really is so interesting because like one of the stories that I want to tell you guys is like sometimes like how taking photos helps with my comedy. Like when I meet so many different types of people, like they always ask like really random questions. It's like, is your beard real? Like how long you take to grow? Mostly guys. I don't know why. Like no girls has come and touched my beard so far. But if any of y'all, you're welcome. No problem. I'll be waiting outside later. It helps because the way I interact with people is all these like life experiences that I learned that I usually use it in comedy. Because comedy is all about being yourself on stage. Because the moment you can actually make fun of yourself, you can be whoever you are. Because a lot of people tend to forget, like we always tend to forget to make fun of ourselves. We don't recognize for who we are, like I said earlier. And this is how it actually helps me with my comedy, right? Number one rule of comedy, like a lot of people ask, is this countdown from going down? Do I have 5 minutes only left? Right, really? I only have 5 minutes left. Wow, cool. The number one rule of comedy is, like, always people ask, like, what is, there's no formula, just be funny, right? But sometimes when you be funny in this country, it's a bit weird because sometimes comedians are just people, and sometimes when we say the wrong thing, like I was with my friend having a drink, and he wanted to order an alcoholic beverage, and he just shouted like 1 MDB. I'm like, oh bro, you can't say that. Hey, why you get so why you? I say, bro, you can't say that. No, what do you mean you can't say that, bro? I say you cannot say that, but I'm just asking for one more draft beer, what? So it's 1 MDB, it works, so it's one more draft beer. I'm like, oh, okay. Sometimes, and you say this the wrong thing, it just becomes really weird. And what happened was recently, one of my friends from Singapore, comedian, I don't know, you guys heard about this? Right. He said, he made a joke, which kind of pointed at someone very powerful in our country. And right now, he's kind of so-called blacklisted. So sometimes it's like, jokes are just jokes, and sometimes you must need to know how far you can move and push yourself, but you must be really smart about it. And that's how you do comedy, right? And how I make the best of both worlds. I only have 4 minutes left. Is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one of my bits which I use the guitar. You guys cool with that? You guys cool with that? I'm gonna show how I incorporate like my love for comedy and music and also like photography at the same time. You guys give me a second, Hold on. Hey, clap lah, bit. Okay, this is called the. So this is one of the comedy routines that I do, and I talk about love songs and experiences and stuff like that. You know how in Malaysia sometimes we have 3 different races. We have my friends, my Malaysian textbooks don't lie. I have 3 friends, Ali, Achong, and Gopal. So yeah, right? And every time Ali falls in love, and my Malay friends, when they learn to play guitar, they only know 2 songs. 2 songs when they learn to play when they meet the girl like, saya dah jatuh cinta, saya nak nyanyi lagu dekat awak, boleh tak? Boleh. The first song every Malay guy will sing is Seindah Tiada Lagi. That's the only. The second song is Beribu Bintang di Langit. It's always the same song, right? The second song is always like for Chinese guys go old school. They'll go like Ni wen wo ai, ni you wo shen wo ai. And then the girlfriend will like, lokong credit card, alright? Indian people don't laugh. You all also got songs. You all sing songs like Unni Patu Pin Budan. Then chaya. They start traveling everywhere around the world, right? I can't do my whole thing, but this has been so awesome. I'll leave you guys with this. As doing comedy and photography, what has taught me is one of the things that my lecturer, her name is Roslina Latif, she used to be with TV3 for 25 years, and I'm actually a mass comm and film and TV graduate. And one of the things that she told me is whatever you do in life doesn't matter, and especially how you look at the way you pave your future, and like how just now one of our speakers was talking about like instability and stuff like that. We always tend to forget the small things in life. Right, sometimes like small things can be your friends, your family, your people just around you. And I was just having a talk with Deborah just now behind, and sometimes even the people that you go to the mamak with, the people who serve you, right? Sometimes you don't appreciate this kind of people, and sometimes this a simple gesture by just saying thank you would actually really really help. And this is what I've actually always practice in my life, that I've actually applied both in photography and comedy, right? And I've never gone away astray from this, because working in the corporate world for 5 years and doing this now for the past 4 years, freelance, I left my corporate world, and it's been crazy. But I know for a fact that if you learn to appreciate all this I was spoken about earlier, is just all boils down to one thing, which is just appreciate the small things in life, because then you'll have a better tomorrow, right? Thank you guys. My name is Prakash Daniel. Have a good night.